Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at eTrailer, and today we're going to be taking a look at our Yakima Exo system kit. So this full kit includes the Gear Warrior open cargo carrier, the Gear Locker closed cargo carrier, and both of these accessories are on or mounted on the top shelf as well as the swing base exoskeleton. So we'll see how this all works together right here at etrailer.com. Now, this is going to be a full kit, which is a great way to start with the Exo system with the focus on storage and storage capacity. Another option would just to get 2 of the Gear Warriors or 2 of the Gear Lockers. This gives you a good mix. I prefer having the Gear Locker on the bottom, the Gear Warrior on top, but it is also up to you. Now, depending on where they're mounted, you're going to have different weight capacities. So when it comes to weight capacity, that's very important with a 2-level Exo system. You need to make sure you have a hitch receiver with enough tongue weight to support it all. 350 pounds at least. This whole system right here weighs 151 pounds. That's the weight of the basket, plus the weight of the box, plus the weight of the exoskeleton. Now, with that in mind, we don't even have this loaded up yet. So depending on where it is, you have different weight capacities. Like up top, you have about 80 pounds of cargo weight capacity. On the bottom, if you have the Gear Locker, it's going to be 100 pounds of cargo weight. If you have the Gear Warrior, it's going to be 110. It might get a little confusing at first, but add 80, add 100, add that to 151, and you can see why I recommend 350 pounds of tongue weight at least. So the advantages of having the basket on top and the box on the bottom is, let's say you're driving through a puddle and the water gets splashed up. If you have the box there, at least you know your cargo is protected. Another thing is that with the basket, depending on if you have it loaded or not, you have bigger chances of having good view through your rear window versus the box that's immediately going to cover the view. Now, the downside on having the box on the bottom is if you need to open it up. You can see right here, we won't be able to open up that lid. You're gonna have to either take the box off or swing it out 90 degrees and swing the top shell out 180 degrees. We'll take a look at that later on in this video. To switch the accessories, it's very simple. You just push these pins out to the rotate position. Then you can loosen these knobs as long as they're unlocked. That moves that cleat out and away from the accessories. So you can then just grab it, take it off, and make the switch. You'll see what I mean now about how it will take up more space right where your backup camera and your window is. But on the other hand, you can now fully open that box. So it really depends on how accessible do you need your cargo to be, as well as what type of vehicle you're driving. But before we take a look at other features, let's see this outside on our test course, see how everything moves. So some thoughts while driving around is, one, I was kind of bummed about the limited visibility through that backup camera, and I did have to rely on my side mirrors and just making sure that everything was clear as I went into reverse. But once I started driving, everything was pretty solid. Now, going over those speed bumps, there was some up and down movement. Then we also took those sharp turns, which was our slalom. So I really like those sharp turns because you can see how the whole system stays together. Now, make sure you tighten down things properly. So see how this is off balance? When you tighten down that anti-rattle bolt, it has really fine threads. So you're gonna have to lift one side to make sure it's even as you tighten it down. Then the anti-rattle bolt can do what it needs to do. I also have the anti-rattle collar just as an extra precaution. This is going to add, and we measure from the center of the hitch pin hole to the end of the swing base, 35.5 inches. So this will add maybe half an inch extra to that, but definitely less than if you had a trailer you were pulling with a similar cargo capacity. So for clearances with the back of your vehicle, the closest point is right over there. That's 4.5 inches away from your hitch pin hole. The top shelf though, that's gonna be 8.5 inches away from your hitch pin hole. So that's something to think about if you have a vehicle, let's say a van that's pretty close here. This should give you a little extra clearance, but also you have the ability to move the top shelf out if you need more clearance with a box. Adjusting the top shelf involves loosening 4 bolts underneath the top shelf, and then you can slide this out and then you tighten those nuts right back in to secure it. To swing it away, you have this large knob. You just need to loosen that until it releases from the swing base. Right there. Now you can pull this smaller knob and then use the support triangle to push the entire system out 90 degrees, and it catches there in the corner. The perks of having this swing all the way out is that you can now open up your hatch, open up your doors, lower your tailgate. You can even set up your campsite here since you have all of this space. You can use our hatch or tailgate awnings we have here at eTrailer. There are some downsides to it in this position though. Let's say you needed to open up the box on the bottom. Well, we saw earlier the lid isn't open. So to do that, or to help with that, you can swing this top shell out 180 degrees. You're gonna have to close your hatch door first though. So to do so, you start by removing this pin on the top shelf, and then you loosen this knob. Once that's loose, you can then swing this 180 degrees around, and now both cargo options are a lot more accessible. Now this is a lot of weight on the end of your hitch, and it's fine swinging it out just to access your hatch, but if you're leaving it out here for a while, that's fine as long as you use the included jack stand just to support that weight for extended periods of time. So if you're done for your campsite for the day, you're ready to hit the road again. To bring this back in, you have that lever in the corner, lift that while you pull on that support triangle. This will help you ramp it up into its spot, and then use that other knob to tighten it down securely. So this is just a quick overview of how this whole kit works together. If you want more of an in-depth look at the individual accessories, check out their product pages here at eTrailer. I like the Gear Warrior just because of how easy it is, or how versatile it is with tightening things down. Although I do recommend picking up an extra pack of straps. We have them eTrailer cam buckle straps to make sure that your cargo is secure. And then with the gear locker, you have that rectangular box. You have security lock right over here so that you can put your more precious cargo into this one compared to the Gear Warrior, which is a little bit more in the open. And you have what I consider a really durable box. You've got that automotive finish on the outside, helping prevent scratches, and you have a solid space on the inside, as well as anchor points for your cargo. So my personal thoughts about this kit is I like how it gives you those different options for storage. I know that the 2-box option with both gear lockers is very popular for storage, but the Gear Warrior has the ability to have wheels added to them, which I think is very helpful once it starts getting very heavy. Also, don't forget, if you take off the top shelf, obviously take off the accessory on top, this on its own then has a weight capacity of 250 pounds. That's a lot for if you need it that one time you need to take something heavy to the campsite. So hopefully this video just helped you figure out with those measurements and those specs if it will be the right fit for your vehicle, and a great way to introduce yourself to the Exo system. You can check out our other kits and our other add-on Exo accessories here at etrailer.com. This right here was a look at the Gear Locker enclosed cargo box on the Exo top shelf with the Gear Warrior cargo carrier on the Exo swing base as a full kit here at etrailer.com. My name is Evangeline, and I hope you enjoyed the journey.